Hello and welcome to Fast Horses Today. Today is Saturday. It is November 8th, and we're going to cover some races over at Del Mar. But before we cover the races, I got some win bets I want to make. I want to just kind of address something here with the Del Mar stewards. You know, this is the first time I'm doing this, but, I just feel like some things need to be said. Del Mar's had some really bad calls they had them in their summer meeting. Terrible calls they had. There was probably a half a dozen of them, and it just kind of went on. And I don't know why that was happening with who's up in the steward's booth and how are they voting for things. And that includes DQs and whatnot. But, what happened yesterday really struck a nerve with me. It was the sixth race. We had the 2-horse, gave that one out on Fast Horses today. The gate breaks. The horse comes out without a jockey. Now, we've been doing this for a long time, and a lot of times, you'll see a horse will stumble out of a gate, they go to their knees or they go to their nose and the jock comes off. There's really nothing that can be done about that. And the horse is a starter and, you lose your money, and that's just, one of the perils of gambling. But what happened yesterday was different. The horse broke out of the gate, didn't break out completely clean, but also didn't stumble to his knees. And the jock never left the gate, and it looked like he wasn't tied on. Looked like the starter might have been holding on a bit long. Whatever. I'm not pointing any fault at anybody. It's a split-second thing. But the jock never came out of the gate. How do you declare that horse a starter? I'd love the stewards. Well, they gave their reason, so it doesn't really matter. It's a terrible call, and I just wanted to address that. And, folks, if there is anyone from Del Mar, officials, anybody listening to this, just know you are cheating your customers with decisions like this. The bettors are your customers, and your customers will choose to continue to consume your product, or maybe they'll go elsewhere. So just remember that when you're making terrible calls like this, that you are cheating your customers and you're ultimately affecting your business. Okay, now that we've got that out of the way, I do have some win bets I want to make on the Saturday card here at Del Mar. We're going to start out in the early portion of the card. We're going to go in the first race. First race has an approximate post time of 12:30 Pacific, so 2:30 here in the Central Time Zone. This is a mile on the grass. This is an open maiden special weight. These are fillies and mares, 3 and up. And, we've got a couple ship-ins to help make this race go. Thanks to those ship-ins. Thanks to Robert Falcone, and also thanks to Graham Motion. They put horses in from the east. Maybe they're seeing an opportunity here where they can win races. Whatever reason they decided, welcome to those folks. So I do have a win bet. I am going to go with one of those ship-ins. I'm going to go with the 3-horse, Bint El Dandy. Now, Bint El Dandy comes out of the Robert Falcone barn. Now, Falcone is no stranger to Southern California. He has shipped horses before, and he has, had stables in Southern California and, in the past several years. So it looks like maybe he'll be doing that again. So he brings this horse in from New York. Horse has a 5-race career. She's maiden, of course, is a maiden race. She's got 2 seconds and 2/3. So she certainly has run well, just hasn't run well enough to win. But, I like her last couple races that she ran. She ran a couple times at Saratoga in their summer meet. I thought she ran some really nice races. Followed that up with a race that was just okay at Aqueduct, but, not really going off that. This horse shows speed. She hasn't finished, but I'm not sure she'll be on the lead this time. You've got the 2-horse Pura Vida Princesa in the race who might go to the lead. With the 3-horse here, Hector Barrios, we'll see. Maybe he lets the 2 go to the lead and stalks. I'm not sure. We'll let Hector Barrios figure that out. And I'm going to make a win bet on the 3-horse Bint El Dandy. I think this horse might be too much for this group. Small field. Maybe we'll get see what kind of price we get on the 3-horse Bint El Dandy. Now we're going to move over to the second race of the day. Second race, this is a maiden claiming race, $50,000 maiden claiming. These are Calbred 2-year-olds. They're going 5.5 on the dirt. And, we've got another small field here. But I got a win bet I'm going to make on the 2-horse, that being Tamarindo Beach. This horse comes out of the Dean Peterson barn. Tiago Pereira on the horse. Now, this horse drops into a 50,000. He had run twice and maiden special weights. So a couple changes. They're putting blinkers on this horse, and they're dropping this horse into a maiden 50. Now, Peterson has done well with this type of move when he's dropped horses. He seems to know when to pull the ripcord and know where to start them and whatnot. It also makes it a little easier. I know he trains for this outfit, the Williams family, who breeds their own horses and owns their homebreds. So it kind of makes it easier there to make decisions like this. So either way, we're horse players here, so we're looking at trying to make winning bets here. So Tamarindo Beach, 2-1 on the horse. Tiago Pereira takes the call. Pereira rode this horse last time at Santa Anita. Tiago Pereira's back to riding. He was out for pretty much the entire Del Mar meet back in the summer. Just started riding back at Santa Anita and, needs some wins. So this would be certainly a good spot here to, get a win. I think this horse looks to be best in this small field. 2-1. I don't know the price will be all that good, but we'll put this here. Maybe we can make a daily double in that first race with the 3-horse Bintel Dandy, a 3-2 daily double. Now I'm going to skip through the rest of the card, and this is my best bet of the day. This being in the last race of the day, that being the 9th race at Del Mar. This is a mile on the grass. This is a first-level California allowance race. This has an approximate post time about 4:30 Pacific, so 6:30 here in the Central Time Zone. And these are 3-year-olds and up, and as I mentioned, they're going a mile on the grass. Now, I like a horse here, best bet of the day for me. That being the 4-horse Winning Patriot for the Carla Gaines barn. Ricardo Gonzalez takes the call here. This horse is 6-1 in the program. Not sure what kind of price we're going to get on Winning Patriot. I know I've talked about Winning Patriot in the past. I certainly have bet this horse. This horse, when you watch the film, you see the ability with this horse. You just see the ability with this horse. This horse likes to run. However, he's difficult. He's a difficult horse to ride. Looks like he may not like to be, trapped in on the inside. He likes to run free on the outside. Here's the problem. When you're running 3 wide on turf courses, you're not winning races in California. It's a very, very tough proposition to do that. So Gonzalez has to figure out a trip with this horse. He certainly knows the horse. He's ridden this horse all 5 times. He's got a maiden win. He's got some good finishes as well. This horse has run up against some nice Calbred horses. This horse ran up against Anan, a few times. Anan is very nice Calbred. Also ran up against Vodka. We saw Vodka, win during Breeders' Cup weekend. So this horse has certainly kept good company in the Calbred ranks. Horse being by Ohm out of Patriot CH. Now, it's said that the Ohms are very, kind of high-spirited, hot-blooded type of horses. And it looks like they are. It looks like they, they certainly have a mind of their own, and they have a lot of ability as well. So, you've got that risk-reward type of thing there. So this guy, he kind of looks like he's, free-spirited and hot-blooded as well. I'm just hoping Gonzalez has figured out how to ride this horse in a winning fashion. I don't know if that's getting to the lead, or what. I don't know, but we're going to leave it up to the connections that they figure this out. This horse has a ton of ability. When he puts it all together, you're going to see this horse doing, really nice things. But we need him to do a nice thing today. Going to make that win bet on the 4-horse Winning Patriot. As I mentioned, 6-1 in the program. Not too sure what we're going to get as far as, when the betting happens, but we'll make that win bet in the 9th race. All right, now let's recap the day and recap the bets. Okay, so for Saturday's card, today being November 8th, we've got 3 win bets to make throughout the card. We're going to start on the early part of the card in the first race. Bet the 3-horse, Bint El Dandy. Second race, the 2-horse, Tamarindo Beach. Go to the 9th race, last race of the day. Going to make a win bet on the 4-horse in the 9th, that being Winning Patriot. So if you decide to make those win bets, I wish you the best of luck. That's what I'm going to do today. Maybe you could use some of those bets in your multi-race wagers. The first couple certainly, end up in that early pick 5. Whatever you decide to do, I wish you the best of luck. Let's wish the folks over at Del Mar a very safe day of racing. And you know what? Let's wish the stewards at Del Mar to have a good day and make good decisions. So whatever you decide to do, again, wish you the best of luck. Thank you so much for watching Fast Horses today and listening to the picks. If you haven't subscribed yet, please do me a favor. Hit that subscribe button. Doesn't cost you anything. It just delivers the content to you for free. Think of it as like a free Uber Eats. You could always like, dislike, make comments. Either way, I promise to respond. Let's create a discussion. So again, thank you so much for watching. Let's try to have a good day here Saturday at Del Mar. And we will be back for more coverage over the weekend at Del Mar, the great race place. Have a wonderful day. Thank you.